and I welcome you to the video lecture series on human values and professional ethics. The chapter that we'll be discussing today is Basis for the Holistic Alternative Towards Universal Human Order. As I always do, I'll be dividing this chapter also into various headings and subheadings, so it's totally up to you. If you want to note down the headings and subheadings, great. If you just want to listen to them, I'm equally okay with it. It will serve the basic purpose, which is that you should understand the argument that has been given in this chapter. So the first basic heading is Identification of Comprehensive Human Goal. Now we need to identify what the human goal is. Majority of us today, we lead our lives without even thinking about the basic purpose of our lives. We do not ever think about what do we want in life or what our goal is. So in this absence of self-exploration, we lead our lives on a daily basis and we are after small little things in life. If we sit back and think about the comprehensive human goal, we'll realize that all our activities are directed towards two basic things. First one, to be happy, and the second one, to be prosperous. So we can say that comprehensive human goal is to be happy and prosperous. Now the questions that emerge, they are, what is happiness? Or what do we mean by being happy? And what is prosperity? Happiness is the state of being in likeness, which simply put means that when we are clear about what we want from life, when our relationship with people is good, when we are living in a mutually fulfilling relationship with people and environment, we are in a state of happiness. The reason is that contradictions, confrontations, they are less, and we are able to lead our life in a free state of mind, a happy state of mind. We shift on to prosperity. Prosperity is the feeling of having more than required physical facilities. Now, I want you people to differentiate between wealth and prosperity. Wealth means having money, a lot of money, maybe in the current context. Prosperity is the feeling of having more than required physical facilities. So, to understand this thing in a better way, let's have an example. Let us suppose there is person A who has 5 lakh rupees, and then there is a person B who has 10 crore rupees. Now, who's wealthy? It's person B who's wealthy. But can person A be prosperous with less money? Yes, he can be. Another important question, are there any chances that person B might not be prosperous in spite of having 10 crores? Answer is yes, because he might not have thought about his needs. So even after getting or even after having that amount, 10 crores, his needs might be growing all the time. So that amount of money might not make him prosperous. So coming back to the chapter, basic human aspiration or the comprehensive human goal is to be happy and prosperous. So if happiness is the ultimate aim, why do we have so many problems today? We have problems today. Why? Because we do not know how we can be happy. And why is it so? The reason is that we have equated happiness with wealth. We believe that if we have a lot of money, if we are wealthy, then we can be happy. So we take it for granted that any and everyone who has a lot of money must be happy. This is one of the major reasons of problems today. If we look around ourselves, all the people that we see who have a lot of money, compulsorily they are not very happy. And why is it so? Because they do not do self-exploration. They are not clear about what they want. The important point here is, I am not asking anyone, and I am not preaching that having a lot of money is something bad. I'm not saying it. What I'm trying to say is that we should think about how much we want. Now, for me, how much I want, the answer to this might be 5 lakh. For someone else, it might be 5 crore. But after reaching that level of 5 crores, did the person slow down and did the person devote some time to himself, to his family, to his friends. In majority of the cases, a person, or in today's world, a person becomes so involved in this rat race that even after achieving his targets, he never slows down. So, the important reason why people have a lot of money in today's world, but less happiness. Likewise, when we shift on to the other thing, prosperity, since people do not think about what they want, what their needs are, they operate on the basis of desires today. And trust me, desires are unlimited. You might be the richest person in the world, but still your desires might not be fulfilled. I'm not saying that the richest person in the world will not be prosperous. He might be, might very well be he might be very prosperous. But the important point is, the theoretical point is, that we need to be clear about what our needs are. Then only we can be prosperous. Today we don't do it. We don't think about what will make us happy. What do we expect from people? What do we expect from people in family, in society? And likewise, we do not think in terms of what our needs are. So we lead a very confused life, and we move away from this comprehensive human goal of being happy and prosperous. The next sub-point, try to dictate it to you. We need to have proper understanding to think about a holistic alternative to attain comprehensive human goal. So the important thing here is that we need to have proper understanding. How can we have proper understanding? Understanding can be there if we do self-exploration. Understanding can be there if we become thinking human beings. If we lead our lives in a very mechanized fashion, we'll never have that understanding. And in the absence of understanding, we'll never be able to develop a model which might be an alternative to the existing model. Now the question that should be there in your minds, what kind of model are we talking about here? We said holistic model, but what is that holistic model? Holistic model simply means that a model which tells us that an individual has to be in harmony with himself. A model by following which an individual should be in harmony with the members of his family, with people living in society, and he should be able to coexist with nature. The important question which some of you might not have thought about, am I preaching agrarian form of life? Am I preaching agrarian economy? Am I talking in favor of it? Why this question should be there? Because it is only by following an agrarian form of living that our lives will become simple. It will not have the complexity of urban life. So am I preaching agrarian form of life? I'm certainly not doing it. What I'm trying to tell you here is that even in the existing model, if we become thinking human beings, we can set different goals which might be achieved, and then it might lead to mutual happiness and prosperity all around us. So let's have an example. Let us suppose I decide to set up a huge factory. I have a lot of money, I invest it, and my first goal at the economic front is that the industry should have a turnover of 500 crores. Agreed. So I should work hard to have that turnover of 500 crores. But the moment I reach that level, what do? Do I slow down, as I said earlier on? Do I try to do something about my mental and physical well-being? Do I try to do something for the society? I need to do it, and then only I'll be able to create a just society. Today this is not happening. Not a lot of people who are very successful actually think about others. So the talk of creating a just society, it's only on paper. It never happens practically. So at the individual front, I need to be very clear about my goals. One is the economic part, and then the other part is that even while earning that much of money, or even while making an effort to earn that much of money, should I actually be involved in a rat race, in the sense that I should actually become literally a rat who never thinks about what he's doing? Answer is in the negative. I need to side by side, I need to think about what will make me happy, what exactly should I do for myself, what my purpose in life is. Second thing, in that factory, in that industry, I can try, or I can set a goal wherein I might try to create a good work environment. I should treat everyone properly, fairly. If I do it, there will be mutual trust. If I do it, people will be happy working in my industry. Their output will increase, their production will increase, number of conflicts will come down, and people will be happy. At the environmental level, I can be very clear about the responsibility that I have, and I might set up a water treatment plant. Again, many industries are not doing it today, and we all know what happened to Kali Bahi in Punjab. For the time being, forget about Ganga and Yamuna. We have a very local example. This rivulet, Kali Bahi, was totally polluted, and Sant Sichewal had to do quite a lot of work to clear a section of it. So, if we are clear about what we want to do, we'll be able to lead a life which is very responsible for ourselves, for people around us, and for nature, and our life will be good, healthy, and happy. So, we move forward. We can further pinpoint certain things here, that if we have right understanding, what will be the implications of it? Now, if we have proper understanding at the individual level, there will be less contradictions in us. So, as I said earlier on, if there are less number of contradictions in us, chances are that we will not be confused, we'll be very clear about what we want to do and how we want to do it, and we'll be able to lead a balanced life. Number two, prosperity at the level of family. Individuals need to be prosperous for sure, but if families are not prosperous, a just society cannot be created. So we need to have this feeling of prosperity at the level of family. Every member in a family should have this feeling that he or she has more than required physical facilities. And this can only happen if at all we start thinking in terms of our needs. Next up, fearlessness and mutual trust in society. If we are clear about the fact that we have to be very responsible towards people around us, we'll be able to create a society which is just, where everyone can roam around without any kind of fear, where everyone gets justice, everyone gets his due. Unfortunately, we're far away from this ideal today. We do not have a society in which mutual trust is there, and we do not, I emphasize, that we do not have a society which is fearless. The number of crimes that we have today in society against children, elderly, women, they are a testimony to this fact. So I'll not be going into the details, and I'll not be giving you examples. You all can very well think of the examples. At the fourth level, the implication of this understanding is that we'll be able to coexist with nature. Today, the problem is that we have assumed that our progress has to be at the cost of nature. My question to you is that can we actually exploit nature endlessly? We can't do it. We cannot exploit nature endlessly. We have continued, we have made efforts to do it, but we are witnessing the ill effects of it. Global warming, the ill effects of global warming, we all are aware of it. So we cannot exploit nature. The sooner we realize that we need to coexist with nature, the better it will be for all of us. So, on the basis of the above mentioned 4 levels of existence, any organization can think in terms of comprehensive human goal, and any organization can move towards creating a holistic system which can be an alternative to the existing system. Now let's have a look, or let's try to analyze whether, generally speaking, in today's scenario, do organizations think in terms of a holistic alternative to the existing model? 4 levels of existence. At the individual level, people working in any organization, they are normally very confused. They do not know what they want to be happy. Normally, they are underpaid. Work environment is not that good. So if they are underpaid, they cannot meet the requirements of their family. If they are unhappy, they cannot make their family members unhappy, which in turn makes the families less prosperous. This is the second stage. So if there's less prosperity, people are more confused. It means that mutual trust will be lacking in society. Quite clearly, fearlessness will not be there because everyone will be under this constant threat that the other person might hoodwink him, the other person might backstab him. So people will not be fearless. And of course, in today's society, a majority of the organizations, they are not talking in terms of coexistence with the nature. So the need of the hour, the first step is to think about comprehensive human goal. We should think about achieving the comprehensive human goal in terms of these 4 levels of existence. Okay, it's a slight little digression here, but I'll take it as an example. In literature, normally it is said that any text reflects reality. So let's take an example of a modern text, White Tiger, written by Alvin Medea. One of the running threads in the novel is that the novel represents the dark underbelly of Indian society, which means that it is a one-to-one depiction of how Indian society works and what exactly has been depicted in the novel. The depiction is that the Indian society today works on the basis of survival of the fittest. Anyone who is cunning enough, anyone who is fit enough to hoodwink others, anyone who is fit enough to outsmart others, anyone who is good enough to obliterate others will survive. My question to all of you is this the right thing? Do we believe that society is moving towards the right direction? Much more importantly, is it right to believe in survival of fittest so blatantly? Because as human beings, do we have the right to actually not think about those people who might not be fit enough? Do we actually have the right to say that anyone who's not fit enough in the current scenario, current situation, should be obliterated? Can we talk in terms of sacrificing human life in such a way? We should not do it. So what is the way out? The way out is that we need to think in terms of creating better holistic models which can ensure that people are happy at the individual level, people are prosperous at the level of family, people can trust each other at the level of society. There should be fearlessness in the society, and we should coexist with the nature. I'm re-emphasizing the point. We are not coexisting with the nature. Take the example of forest cover in a state like Punjab, it's less than 3%. Clearly, we are not coexisting with nature. Alright, moving on to the other things. What will happen if we think in terms of these 4 levels of existence, and if we start thinking about creating a holistic system? The first thing that will happen, we'll be able to identify the weaknesses in our system. We'll be able to identify the inadequacies in our system. And any system can be improved if, first of all, the weaknesses and inadequacies can be identified. Why is it that for long durations of time, nothing changes? The reason is that people cannot identify where the problem lies. So when we think in terms of creating a better system, we'll be able to identify the weaknesses, and once those weaknesses are identified, chances are that we'll be able to improve the system. So I've talked about one way. That way was that at the level of organization, institutions, companies, whatever, people at all the levels can start thinking in terms of creating a just society, a society which gives its citizens the necessary due. But then there are other two important components as well. Those two important components are education system and a good constitution. Constitution here stands for the rules of the land. Now the question that should come up here is that the existing model of education, is it not good enough, or am I saying that it is bad? The answer is both yes and no. Yes, it is bad. But at the same time, it is good. I'll start with the second thing first of all. It is good. How is it good? The present model of education concentrates on skill set generation. It is based on division of labor, which wants that people should be skilled. Now, in this quest to create the skill set, we have started moving towards specializations and super specializations. Now, being a super specialist, it's something, there's nothing wrong in being a super specialist. Now comes the bad part with the current education system. It does not tell us that we can be a super specialist, but at the same time, we have to be a good human being. The current education system tells us that because of the skill set that we have, we should succeed, we must succeed. But it does not tell us that if we succeed by exploiting the other person, that is wrong. The current education system tells us that if you work for, say, 18 hours a day, it is good. But then it does not tell us that if someone cannot work for 18 hours a day, and if you force that person to work, this is not right. There should be certain bare minimum rules, certain bare minimum standards, certain bare minimum things that are expected of every worker. But after that, it should be the right of the worker to decide what he has to do. And the current education system does not tell us that ethical choices are to be made. When I interact with students, many times this discussion is there, and unfortunately, I'll use the word unfortunately, majority of the students say today that smart work is good. So when I explore this thing more, they say that by smart work, they mean, what they mean by smart work is that they should put in less effort. And I personally believe, or I try to emphasize this in every such interaction, that the moment we start thinking in terms of putting in less effort, we are talking in terms of opting for shortcuts. And shortcuts, friends, are often the wrong cuts. We should remember this thing. Our education system somehow fails to highlight that we need to opt for ethical choices. We need to give 100% in every situation to succeed. This is wrong with the current education system. So if we want to create a holistic model which can be an alternative to the existing system, our education system has to perform its role properly. Our education system has to highlight the fact that what we do is important, but how we do it is equally important. Next up, we need to create a humanistic constitution. Now, by humanistic constitution, as I said earlier on, what is meant is that laws and rules should be good enough. They should be same for everyone. Unfortunately, in our country today, that is not the case. Those people who are above the system, who can manipulate the system, they can get away with literally anything. And when this happens, people lose faith in all the systems that create a society. People become less trusting. People become more fearful. And when people trust each other less, when people live in constant fear that something might happen to them or to their family members, when this anxiety is constantly there, that if at all they rub a person in a wrong way, a person who matters a lot, who does not have any moral scruples, then literally anything can happen to them. That society, friends, cannot progress. So what exactly has to be done? Rules are there, but we need more whistleblowers. We need more aware people. We need more thinking human beings who should stand by this one thing, that rules should be implemented equally for everyone. Normally it is said, from state Punjab, normally it is stated that we Punjabis, when we go abroad, we follow all the rules, but back home in Punjab, we don't do it. It has become a kind of a joke today. But is it actually a joke? What is the reason why this happens? This happens all the time. The reason is that when we go abroad, we are made to follow rules which are same for everyone. But when we are back home, there are literally no rules. If I have a lot of money, I can do anything. Money is the single most important factor which decides everything in our society today. And till the time we go on concentrating only on money, we cannot think about creating good organizational structures, we cannot think about creating good educational resources, we cannot think about creating a sound constitutional base. Money is important, but it is not the be-all and end-all of human life. We should think in terms of human life, the qualities that they have, how productive they can be, and then we should try to ensure that everyone gets his or her rights. If we think about getting proper education which highlights the importance of ethical choices, then only we'll understand that proper constitution in the form of proper rules and implementation of those rules are required. It is by following these three things that chances are that we might actually create a good alternative to the existing models of existence. In the absence of these three things, we will go on facing the problems, or unfortunately I have to say this, that problems might actually mount. I wrap up this lecture by urging you all to do this bit of self-exploration and think about what your role in society is and how you can contribute in creating a better society wherein everyone should get his or her dues and a better alternative to the current system can be created. Thank you so much. Have a good day.